Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the video. My name is Bradley, also known as the Swim Coach. Today, we're going to be looking at the top performance of goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders, and forwards so far this season, all the way up to game week 11. But if beforehand, if anyone wants to join my league, the code is going to be up here, or there'll be a link down in descriptions with all my socials. So it's been quite an interesting season so far. A lot of injuries this season for a lot of teams, but let's see how the players got on so far this season. So, starting off with the top goalkeeper so far is Anana from Manchester United, with only 8.6% of people actually having him. There's quite good value there. 53 points. Very good. Well, still the Forest goalkeeper. Whoa. Um, He's been doing really, really well. 4.7 million, 7.4% with 50 points so far. Let's have a little bit more in depth. Now, as you can see, they've got a couple of hard games coming up, mixed with in an Ipswich home game. They've got Arsenal away and City away, and United and high flying Villa at the moment, and Brentford, and then Spurs coming up. So this is going to be a big test over the next month or so. It's going to be very interesting to see how Forest get on. Can they perform as what they've been doing so far? Yeah, I think it's going to be a very interesting one. And then after, yeah, they've got Spurs as well. Then they've got a bit of a Christmas period. Then they've got Liverpool coming up as God. They've got tricky, and then they've got a bit of a tricky side in the middle. So I think over the next few games, it's going to be a bit of a C for Forest, but they could be surprising and they could show other teams up. I hope they don't do it this weekend, mind you, for game week 11, but we'll see. So yeah, Pickford's up there. 10% of people, 10.3 have him, and 46 points. That's very nice. Sancho, 11.5, so one of the higher ones so far. 44 points. Pope is up there again with 43, and David Raya. They are your top 6 goalkeepers. Very surprising that no City goalkeeper is in the top 6. Arsenal goalkeeper is. I would have thought the Liverpool goalkeeper could have been up there, was where they are in the league. But the thing is, with Liverpool, they've had 2 goalkeepers. Becker, who's been out injured, and I've forgotten who the other goalkeeper was. There you go. So, in theory, he has got the 5th best points per match for goalkeepers. So we can allow that. As you can see, he's only played, 5 games so far. 5 out of the 11. But if you add up those Liverpool goalkeepers, 21 points with Becker's 35, okay, now you're on to 56 points. 56 points for Liverpool would have taken them to the top. So that could be interesting. Is Becker going to be back soon? Well, the answer is probably no, because he's 50-50. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that. But then also, if Becker is back, what about this goalkeeper? Is he going to be back in, or is he going to stay? I don't know. So again, I think clubs out there got to look into this. So you guys out there, fantasy football players, you got to look into what you want to do. So that's quite interesting. Now let's go into our beautiful defenders. As you can see, it is dominated a lot with some high performance players. Virgil van Dijk is up there with 56 points. Nice value as well for Virgil van Dijk. Same for Gardner, literally, but they are one of the highest ones. The one that's in this frame that's standing out, there are lots of £4 million players. So we've got 4.8 from Forest. But again, we said Forest have got a hard fixtures coming their way. We've got Manchester United. Well, yeah, another Forest player. Sorry, my mistake. So again, got a bit of a hard running. I was looking. Oh yeah, here we go. There were Manchester United players a bit further along. That's what I saw. But if you can see, you got 4.8, 4.5, 4.7. Those 4-point players could help you get potential Haaland in, Salah in, and potentially probably like Saka or Palmer in, because you're still getting good value out of those points as well. But can you take that from what's going to be happening over the next couple of weeks? Got to see. So I actually do like having someone like Virgil van Dijk, maybe someone like Gabriel, and then put in those 2 or 3 4-point-ish million pound players, maybe even a 5 million pounder. But yeah, I think that could be a good little target of spending around about, I would say, for those players, for those 5 defenders, you're looking probably about 25, maybe 26 mil. So that could be a very good, interesting one there. Well, for example, if you use the top, say top 3, we've got 12.6 million. Okay, that's 12.6 from 2 players. So that's 17.4 million. The top 3 players so far this season. So that could be a very, very good little earner. So let's just say, for example, you do have those top 3 plus, say, let's go with Robinson and Gabriel. That's 28.4 million. Just those alone. So that could be very good and very good points your way. And also gives you a bit of spread around. You're not just picking on the top players or the top teams around. You can get a mixture. So with that, you're actually getting like 1 Liverpool, 1 City, 1 Forest player, and 1 Fulham player that are doing quite well at the moment. So that's something you guys out there can look at. And I think you've got to look for what you can actually do. If you've already got them in your team, brilliant. You think for that 28.2 million so far, you will have been on. Let me just work it out. Then we said Gabriel and Robinson. Just by defenders alone, you would have got 239 points just for defenders only. If you pick those 5 players. Yeah, I know you can't play 5 of them, or you could do, but there we go. And if you use the top 4, and then bunk one of a lower player, and you have them as your reserve player, I think that could be a good option as well. So literally, you could have those top 3 with someone like Gabriel getting the Arsenal in there, because you know Arsenal are going to hopefully get some good points for goalkeeper defenders, especially when they've got those set pieces. And I think Gabriel may get you some bonus points as well, because he has got 4 bonus points so far. If you look, those goals, okay, Clean sheets 3. Obviously, yeah. But there's a bit of period where he did go and score 2 back-to-back. Yes, one big one, an okay one, but then it's all small. So you've got to be careful probably with Gabriel at the moment. But with Arsenal fixtures being kind of nice, I kind of like it at the moment. So that could be something interesting for you guys out there as well. Now, let's have a look at our beautiful midfield. And this is where we have to look into it. Okay. Yes, we got Mo Salah up there. 50% of people have got him. Half of people have got Mo Salah. More than half have got Palmer. But here is the surprising one. Yes. But these 3 players here have all got warnings on them. So you've got to be careful at your risk. Now, Saka did pull out of the international break. Did Palmer pull out? I think Palmer did as well. So you've got to be very careful here. But having those players in those top 4, you are going into big, big territory now. Of just those 4 players alone, got 40 odd million. Now, plus that 27 million we had earlier or so, that now brings it up to 60 odd. So, plus your 2 goalkeepers at like, what, 8 million, 9, let's call it 10 million. So, in fact, you got 21 million for 2 players, for 3 forwards. You could have your Haaland, you could have someone else, but that's very interesting. But with all this, you've got the potential of having someone like Smith Rowe, who is getting you points and is a good value as well at 5.7 million. That could save you those extra like 2 million, 3 million on, say for example, like Bruno Fernandes with Manchester United. That value is looking very good. But now 26% of players out there have Smith Rowe. So that could be an issue. But then you can potentially have some extra money where you could have, say, like Barnes, Johnson at the moment, who's on a bit of a roll. Who else is on a roll at the moment? I did know this one, and I forgot what I was going to say. Who was it? Gordon did really well in the international break. But this is kind of quite nice of, you've got a big dilemma, but then you can also save a lot of money to probably have someone like Haaland and Salah, and maybe someone like Palmer and Saka, or Brian Number in your team. It could be very, very interesting of what players out there decide to do, and also what fixtures have got coming up. For example, Chelsea. They've got a lot of green fixtures coming up in the month of December, and into the new year. So that could be a very interesting one for Chelsea. You could literally go a little bit more Chelsea right now, because you've got Leicester. Villa could be the tricky one. Spurs could be the very hard one as well. But then they've got some interesting games. Yes, no game is 100%, especially the Bournemouth games, because they could be big surprise ones for you. But we'll see. So I would say Chelsea players at the moment have got a nice fixtures coming up. Brentford have got some okay, but there's some hard ones coming up as well. Into the new year, so that'd be good to see. But yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting how people out there start planning. Now, if people do get injured, yeah, but For me, I'll be looking at potentially having Palmer. Okay. Can never pronounce this. Medalinko. If I get it wrong, I watch it 100%. I do apologize. But it is interesting to see how they get on. Yes, he's 11th out of 300, but very good. 6 bonus points in there as well. And how many people have actually got him? Only 7.2 have actually got this player. So again, you're gaining extra points on other people. And I think, can you get that surprise player out there that hasn't got that many people on them and he's doing well before everyone else noticed? I think that's what you got to look at as well. I think players going for Chelsea players could be an interesting one. Let's have a look at Newcastle's fixtures coming up. Okay, reasonable, interesting, but we'll see. Kind of like that. Now, let's have a look at our forwards. There could be a bit of a surprise here. Oops, nope. Haaland is up there. 63% of people have actually got Haaland as we speak. There's something quite interesting about this, okay, which I'll show you later. Wood, Welbeck, Nicholas Jackson, all good value. Nicholas Jackson probably on the heftier side, but Wood, Welbeck, I think you're probably going to start having. But yeah, Weze is a bit of a nuisance because he's just come back from an injury and he's been doing really well. He's actually in my current team. I think I'm just still going to keep him. I know he's got this 75% knock chance, but hopefully. This one here, Liam Delap. I would love to see Liam Delap do really, really well. And Ipswich getting that lovely win against Spurs as well. I hope they can use that as a stepping stone for games coming up, especially after United. Yes, it's going to be United's first game with their new manager. Then having Forest and Palace back to back with Bournemouth and Wolves. So that is going to be, I think, the true aspects of how Ipswich get on, how they get on in these 4 or 5 games. So that would be interesting to see. Now, let's have a look at their end of fixtures. So, yeah, their end of fixtures could help them out a lot as well if they're not down by then. Okay. That could be a very interesting one. Rail, again, been doing really well recently. Getting on some extra points here and there. Getting on team sheet, or sheet, should I say. But they have got some tricky ties, especially the Arsenal-Liverpool back-to-back games. But then, as you can see, going into the new year, they've got some lovely, good fixtures. So you start planning for that, potentially. Someone like Solanke, is he worth that 7.7 million? Could be, depending on how Spurs get on. Havertz, I don't think he's worth that 8 million. For me, he's not doing it for me, and I'm an Arsenal fan. For me personally, if I would love to have someone like Weze as an Arsenal player. Does he fit our format? Potentially. So yeah, I think out there could be good. Pedro. Now, Pedro's had a few injuries. And it's been at 5.4 million. That's very good value there. So I kind of like that. And only 7.7% of people have actually got him. So you're looking there gaining extra points. And some of these players that have on those cheaper list, okay, that have actually done well, means to having say, like those players, and then having Haaland actually backs you up a little bit. So it's quite interesting how people out there have got their lovely little markers. And maybe some people have planned it in the future where they've actually gone, or they did have Haaland at the start of the season, and then they've started seeing that other players that they wanted to have on their list is now starting to be, they want to go on it, or they went Haaland with two low value plays, but then those low play values have actually worked out for them. For me personally, yeah, I think I had Welbeck and Pedro at the start of the season as well, which would have been nice with Haaland, so that's good. But then Pedro did get injured. It's quite interesting. Now, going on to the bit I was talking about earlier, and this is the team of the year so far. So there you go. But could you have put all those in a team together? The answer is no. You can't put all that value in the same team. Now, I did do a little bit of a test run of who you could actually put in and still get high enough points. And you actually drop out Saka actually. And you drop out, I think I drop out Gardevoir, and it brings in another cheaper defender. And I think I bought out Haaland and then increased on Wood and Welbeck with sorry, not I went with, was it Watkins? Oh no, Nicholas Jackson. And that means then you can get the other, was it? No. I think it was actually Delap, with Delap, and Wood and Welbeck. And then you could potentially have those lower value players. And I think I was like 1 million out or something like that. And if you added up all the points, I know I was 1 million over, but it would have taken me to first in the world. How crazy would that have been? And that was if you mixed Haaland, Palmer, and Salah as your 3 captains, and you worked out their top points for those weeks, you would have got there. It was crazy, but lovely. Now, here's another thing I'm going to show you. You go back to this tab and here. Well, actually, Haaland is the second most transferred player out. So that is very, very interesting. Salah is the most transferred player in, with Bruno Fernandes being the second most. So very, very interesting. Even Weze, who's got a marker against him, is the third most popular forward or player being transferred in. So that is very interesting, where you've got 2 midfielders and 3 forwards. But on this list, you've got a defender. So what's happened there then? Where that defender will have had to, Trent Alexander will have had to be switched for another defender. So have all these players here gone for a cheaper defender to potentially get Salah, and maybe got rid of Haaland at the same time? I don't know. So yeah, that means they would have had to done more transfers. Whoa. So that's going to be an interesting one of seeing what people out there actually did. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to finish the video there. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. If you still want to join my league, the code is going to be up here. Again, please hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. It'd be much appreciated. Also, there'll be a link down in the description for my Discord. Where you want to jump over, you can come and talk to me on there. It has only been started from this season. It's just not about FPL. We do talk about any sports. Like I play chess a lot on stream. Do these videos. Anything you want to talk about, I'll freely talk about. So yeah. Or if you want to talk about swimming, there's a bit there about swimming. So yeah, it's very interesting. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Take care. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye from now.